Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join me for a slightly different Championship preview show. We have to keep up our run of previewing every round of Championship games. So we're in a kind of strange midweek international break, postponement, catch up, couple of days type situation in the Championship. We were due to have 3 games, but another one of the postponed games rescheduled has now been postponed for different reasons. So, look, we've only got a couple of games to talk about it. Therefore, I haven't gone to the trouble of doing a live stream and getting everybody in to do their predictions. So I hope you don't mind, but this is a pre-record Championship preview show. And as ever, we need to say thank you to our fan sponsors, the Donovan brothers, in loving memory of Michael of South East London, a lifelong Millwall fan and admirer of the show. Thank you to the Donovan brothers for their support of the channel. You too can go and get involved over on Patreon. So what is actually going on here? Look at this carefully. I've brought up, instead of the actual dated fixtures, there's round 21 and round 23. Remember, we should be on round 24 next time, okay? So we've got, if you look down at the bottom of round 21, a rescheduled game from, so it's the Boxing Day round, Bournemouth and Millwall. Remember, Millwall had some COVID issues, didn't they? So that is tonight, Bournemouth versus Millwall. If you look over on the right-hand side, you'll see Luton and QPR and Brentford and Bristol City were moved along from the 2nd of January and the 1st of January round, which would have been round 23. So those are the games that were due to be played. However, we have now lost Brentford and Bristol City because Brentford, they actually won't be playing at the weekend either. Fingers crossed. I don't know if there's some secret vaccinating going on, but hey, if these guys are being asked to keep going to work through all the lockdowns, then perhaps they should be vaccinated. Anyway, let's not go into COVID or politics on the channel. We've successfully avoided that as and when we can. But we do have Bournemouth and Millwall tonight, so we can talk about and predict that one. I'll just quickly go on Josh King. The Josh King saga rumbles on, and it looks like either Steve Bruce at Newcastle is playing a bit of poker and Sam Allardyce saying they can't afford him, or they're not interested. Maybe they're just being wily and trying to knock the price down. But it looks like there's no deals on the table for King at the moment. Scored 2 in the FA Cup for Bournemouth at the weekend. They beat Oldham 4-1. Bournemouth in the league on good form, 10 points in 5 games. The only defeat there against Brentford, that was a superb game. We did that as a watch along, and they were, they could have easily got something from that game as well. So Bournemouth are in good nick. They're in 3rd place behind Swansea in 2nd, but a win in their game in hand, which obviously is this one, would pop them into 2nd place. So all of our mid-season videos and comments could be out the window here if Bournemouth do win this game and move into 2nd. We have them in an automatic place at their halfway point, even if it's not everybody else's halfway point. And in the other 3 games there, or the other 4 games, no goals conceded. And can you go and do it away at Stoke on a cold, foggy, whatever night? Yes. Bournemouth, a very impressive 1-0 win at Stoke in the last game. Now, there is Millwall, and it's punctuated because they didn't play between the 19th of December and then the 2nd of January. They've been on a 10-game winless streak. Then they scored 4 points in 2. Then there was radio silence when they didn't play, obviously. And then that last defeat at home to Coventry has got the backs up of the Millwall fans again. It feels like they're only ever a bad result now away from questioning route. I went on Lions TV with Dan and discussed this. You can check that out over on his channel there, Lions TV on YouTube, and put into that this weird issue with Jay Malumbi and the offer going into Brighton and him ending up then going off to Preston on loan instead. So Millwall fans are a bit of an unhappy bunch at the moment, and I think they're going to be unhappy after this one as well, aren't they? Because I can't really see anything other than a home win. Perhaps Millwall could go and defend well and eke out a low-scoring draw. But I think I'm going to go for a Bournemouth home win in this one, which would put the Cherries up into second at the 23-game mark and would have Millwall still 6 points above the relegation zone there. Bournemouth versus Millwall, I'm going home win. Get your predictions in the comments. Next up, we would hope to be talking about Brentford versus Bristol City. However, I will read from the Brentford website. B's next 2 fixtures have been suspended due to face Bristol City and Reading. These games will be arranged for later in the season. Blah, blah, blah. It doesn't give numbers. Closing the training ground, carrying out further testings, etc., etc. The circumstances around these opponents will be subject of an investigation in accordance of the EFL regulations revised dates. It's going to be tricky for Brentford because they got through in the FA Cup, didn't they? They beat Borough. So you do start to worry about fixture pile-up and, we start to worry about fixture pile-up generally across the whole division because spare midweeks are going to be few and far between. I dare say we might see someone at some point, if they're not prepared to shift on the Euros in the summer, and we haven't got all the players vaccinated by then, we might see someone have to play a horrible, for example, Friday, Monday, Thursday, Sunday, like a 4-game, 8-day week. You can see it happening, can't you? With the fixtures now sort of being cancelled left and right and postponements, etc., etc. So, obviously, we hope that the anyone affected there is okay. It's been the case that footballers are very fit and don't have underlying conditions, so they have been okay. Although there have been those that have suffered the consequences of the long COVID and then, been groggy and ill and not themselves for maybe a couple of weeks, even after the isolation period and quarantine, etc., etc. So, I understand everyone's frustration with cancellations and things of that nature, but we've got to remember the country's in lockdown whilst these guys are going to work. These outbreaks are sadly going to happen if someone does get into the training ground, and maybe the vaccinations will happen pretty sharpish, although I'm sure that wouldn't be public knowledge if they had. But yeah, let's hope we don't get slews and slews of cancellations. So Brentford versus Bristol City postponed. Our other game there is Luton versus QPR, which, all being well, should go ahead. You can see Luton there in 14th. Luton with a good home record. The difference between them kind of being 14th or maybe where Birmingham Forest or indeed QPR is, who they are indeed facing. Only the 8 defeats for Luton so far this season. And I think they would be fairly optimistic about this one. Look at the last home games there. They've beaten Bristol City, who have been in the top 6 for a while this season. They've drawn with Bournemouth, and there's a 3-0 win there over Preston. Luton at the Kenny are a good team. Unfortunately, QPR anywhere aren't a very good team at the moment. They're on a very poor run. 9 defeats in the 22. And if you look recently, no wins in those last 6 games. Look, 1-1 at Millwall, then a home defeat against Reading, and 0-0 against Stoke. Couldn't quite get over the line against Wickham. Home defeat against Swansea. Creditable point away at Norwich, and they could have got something more if Bright Samuel had managed to put that late chance home. The big caveat, and we haven't covered this on a transfer video yet because I try and let about 7 or 8 bump up, but Charlie Austin is back at QPR. You would think if they brought him in and they're going to pay the proportion of West Brom's wages, which we think is a very high wage, then you'd expect him to feature, wouldn't you? So whether that makes a difference at QPR or not can be the thing to get them going away from 20th in the table. Obviously, with this midweek, no one below them is going to play. So it's a real opportunity. If they can get a win, they can move up into 18th spot. So a big opportunity. Will Austin make a difference or not is the question. If he doesn't make a difference, then Luton are going to win, I think. I wonder whether he will make a difference. Let's sit on the fence then and go for a draw and assume QPR do get some change out of having Charlie Austin back, whether that pushes Lyndon Dykes and Macaulay Bonne or Austin himself does the business. I'll go for a draw. Get your predictions in via the comments. I'm sure you will. So that's it. 3 games and one of them postponed. So we've gone for a Bournemouth home win and a draw between Luton and QPR. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks again to the Donovan brothers there, in loving memory of Michael of South East London, lifelong Millwall fan, admirer of this show. A lovely tribute and very kind of them to sponsor the preview show throughout this season, and you too can go and get involved over on Patreon. Championship game's not televised tonight, so I will be covering Sheffield United versus Newcastle, but as ever, we'll review the action tomorrow. So might be a bit bitty this week, but we will try and keep abreast of everything. And with that being said, thank you for watching and over and out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.